Hey guys, it's About Beer 30. Let's take a walk into the kitchen and see what's in the fridge today.
Hello everybody, welcome to Greg's Beer Reviews. Today, thanks a bunch for stopping by. Today's beer I've had for a while, which is probably not a good thing for me. This is sent to me by my brother Rico. This is Pêche Mortelle from Brasserie du Dessert. This is an Imperial Stout brewed with coffee, 9.5% alcohol by volume. This is the 2014 edition. He also has sent me a 2015 edition. You guys have seen this beer in the fridge a bunch lately. I've had it for quite a while and probably should have had it by now, both of them by now, since it has been done with coffee. I don't know when in 2014 I don't know when in the year that they brew this beer, beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year. So I'm sure this has probably been a better beer as far as coffee notes, fresher than it is now. And I've had it for a while. So Rico, I apologize. My brother, I do appreciate you sending me all the beers that you do. I wish I would probably have reviewed the 2014, and I have a 2015 in there too that we're going to do pretty quick in the next couple of days. And I don't do verticals anymore. People have told me, I used to. I don't do verticals of these big 9.5% and above beers. I don't do verticals, period, anymore, beers, guys. I don't session beers, and I don't want to have two different versions of this magnitude at the same time. I'm an old fart. And it's with the health issues that I have, I don't get to have very many beers per day. So I don't do verticals anymore, and it'd probably be a good opportunity to do a 2014 and 2015 side by side, but until I can get off some of this medicine and my health gets better, it's not going to happen. So, and I have some Stone Vertical Epics in there, multiple years, probably 3 years, and I'm not going to do verticals of those either. So my vertical beer reviewing days are over for a while until my health gets better. So let's get on with this. And as you know, Beer Advocate clumps all these beers, no matter what year it is, into the same category. They don't differentiate between the year versions. So, and they're pretty consistent, I think, from this brewery on this beer of doing consistent ABV. So 9.5%, and it's an Imperial Stout done with coffee. So let's see if there's anything else we need to talk about. Let me jump over to Untappd. They have it at 76 IBUs. Pêche Mortelle, French for mortal sin, is intensely black and dense beer with very pronounced roasted flavor. Fair trade coffee is infused during the brewing process, intensifying the bitterness of the beer and giving it a powerful coffee taste. Pêche Mortelle is brewed to be savored. We invite you to drink it in moderation. This stout style, high in alcohol and bitterness in order to flavor preservation, was historically brewed to support the long and audacious voyage necessary to export the beer from England to Russia. The word Imperial comes from the fact that the beer was specially brewed for the Russian Tsar court. So, we shall see. And as long as I've had it, and it's a very dark beer, but it looks like it has a heavy sediment cake on the bottom of it. So, we shall see. I wish I would have done it earlier, and that's why I'm going to get to 2015 out pretty quick and get to it and see if the coffee notes have survived and exactly what we have here, guys. So with that being said, we've gone over everything, and we know the vintage because he has put a bright blue sticker on here. So let's get it open and get it into the glass. Not much hiss. It is a twisty cap. which is surprising to me since these guys are not in the United States. I didn't know they were doing a lot of twisties across the pond. And it's not even a 12-ounce bottle. I think it's 11.2, 11.5 fluid ounces. And it does have a heavy cake, and I'm sure some of that went into the glass. Not much head, not even hardly covering the top of the beer. It is pitch black, guys, dark as night. To the nose we go. Big roasted malt. A little bit of the alcohol, which is surprising to me. I would have thought a 9.5% would have mellowed out by now. Almost has some bourbon notes, and it's not a bourbon barrel beer. Maybe a slight hint of some coffee, but the alcohol is standing out a little bit more than I think it probably should have by now. Maybe a hint of some black molasses in there, guys. So let's give it a taste and see what we've got. And I may have reviewed this beer before. I didn't go back and look. The name definitely rings a bell. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Big time bitterness. There is some alcohol in that beer, guys. Rich roasted malt. A little bit of bittersweet chocolate. Molasses. Caramel. Toffee. Wow. That drinks like 11 or 12% or bigger. Thick, chewy beer, but the alcohol notes are a little heavy for a 9.5%er this old. So maybe I'm getting some of that from the coffee, the bitterness of the coffee, or whatever. Tasty beer, don't get me wrong, but I was hoping it wouldn't be quite as, I don't know, I hate to say boozy because it's not boozy, but the alcohol is there. You can tell you're drinking a big beer. And it's not a huge beer. It's not a monster beer. Like I said, it's not 11, 12, or 15%er. It's a 9.5%er, but it is pretty potent. It's pretty potent for a 9.5%er. So, but it is tasty, don't get me wrong. Final beer of the evening, so let me take this and go sip on it, and we'll come back and give it a grade. Alright guys, I'm back. Been sipping on it a while. Tasty beer. It is a very tasty beer. I'm sure there would have been more coffee notes, fresher than what I am giving here, because coffee fades over time just like hops does. But it's still there. I am getting slight hints of some coffee notes on this one. It is a bitter beer. Reminds me a lot of some of the Great Divide beers. Some of their beers are kind of on the bitter side. I think they could use a little lactose in the brewing of this beer, but that's just my opinion. That's probably not what they want to do. I think the beer would be a little tastier with a little lactose in it, but that's just my personal opinion. I'm not the head brewer anywhere. I have brewed and I have used lactose, and I found the beers that do have that have a little sweeter taste to them. But I've not brewed a coffee beer to this magnitude before, so I do find it a little bit heavy on the alcohol content for a 9.5%er, and a little heavy on the bitterness content for a 9.5%. So that's why I think maybe a little lactose introduced into the beer would make it a little tastier, a little sweeter, a little easier to drink, not quite so bitter. But that's just my 2 cents. I'm not brewing the beer. So with that being said, I did enjoy it. And like I said, I got a 2015 edition. This is a 2014 edition. We're going to do, we're going to do the 2015 edition pretty quick. I should have reviewed these beers a little quicker or a little sooner than I have now. And so we're going to go ahead and get those reviewed, and maybe the 2015 will, being a year fresher, will be a little more coffee notes in the beer than what I'm getting on the 2014 edition that I have here. So, final chug. Very pleasant aroma, a very pleasant beer to drink. I enjoyed it. Rico, thanks again, my brother. I do appreciate it, sir. Sorry it took so long to get this reviewed. Like I said, I'm sure this was not a cheap beer to buy since I come across it. Well, I didn't come across the pond. They're out of Quebec, Canada, but it is an imported beer. And I find a lot of the Canadian beers are very, very tasty, especially the Unibrew beers are very tasty to me, guys. So you guys in Canada that can get these beers pretty easily and probably a lot cheaper than they are here in the States. This would probably be a regular go-to in my fridge if I could get them here at a decent price and be available. And it may be available here. I don't. The only place I would probably be able to find this beer would probably be at the Barrel Chest in their import section, since it's coming from a different country, being Canada, and it's going to be a little more pricier than what it is in Canada. So, but I do enjoy it. It is a very tasty beer. Final chug. Very, very pleasant aroma. Big time roasted malt on the aroma. And the booziness, to me, now that I've been sipping on it close to an hour, has subsided, either from me drinking on it or being opened up to the air. Very nice. That's a very tasty beer, guys. That I've been sipping on it for close to an hour. Not quite as bitter or unpleasant as it was when it was cold out of the fridge. It has opened up. It seems to have combined very well. Very pleasant beer, a very tasty beer. To me, guys, I'm gonna give this an A-. I'm gonna give it a 93. That's where I'm gonna put this. If you say, "Oh my God, it's a 10 beer," oh my God, what, you crazy? I would not argue with that. Fresh has probably got a whole lot more coffee notes than what I am getting now, because my dumb ass cellared it too long. That's why I'm going to get the 2015 out pretty quick here in the next couple of days and get it reviewed. But it is a very, very pleasant beer, and I would buy this beer. I would buy this beer if it was reasonably priced and had a date on it. I did not see that. Rico put this big 2014 sticker on it. And on the side, it's got some notches here, but the first one notched at 17 and the second one notched at 9, or 7 and 9. So I don't know how 2014 comes out of notched at 7 and 9. I'm not grasping that. So it seems to me if it was a 2014, it would have something different. And a lot of times the year in different countries is before the day. So to me, if I was looking at this beer, I would say it's either the 9th month of 2017 or the 7th month of 2019. So I can't figure that out. So glad he put that sticker on there. Evidently he knew more than I am gathering from what's stamped or notched on the label. So with that being said, he's telling me it's a 2014 edition. So if you've had a 2014 edition of Peach Mortel, let me know what you think. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 4.42 in their outstanding range. Excellent numbers from those guys. And over to Untapped, they have it at 4.26. So it's definitely an A beer, guys, whether it's an A-, A, or A+ beer. It could be anywhere depending on what you like to drink and what you are drinking. If you tell me, oh my God, I agree, it's an A- beer, or you're crazy, it's an A+ beer, I would not argue with that. It is definitely an A beer, guys. So if you've had the 2014 edition recently, let me know what you think. This is the Brasserie de Douceur, and these guys do some awesome beers. This is a Pesce Mortel 2014, or Pesce Mortel. Let me know what you think, guys. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.